Hey guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. So tonight we are making manicotti. So right here I have a pound of Italian sausage in my electric skillet. You guys know I love my electric skillet. And I am just seasoning with onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And I know that I probably didn't have to season, but it's just kind of habit to season my meat. So anyway, I am just letting that cook through. Next, I'm going to get started on my pasta sauce. So I have a jar of Great Value marinara sauce, and I'm going to season that with onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of sugar to cut that acidity. And I have been loving to get the Great Value marinara sauce and just season it on my own. I just find that it is really easy to customize rather than buying a sauce that you really don't like. So that's what we've been doing here. I'm basically just going to heat this through. Back over to the sausage, I'm continuing to cook that through. I love using my mix and chop that I got at Walmart just to make sure that the chunks of meat are really small. We are not big fans of big chunks of meat, so that is why I like to use this tool. I can leave a similar one linked down below for you. So now we're going to get to work on the cheese mixture. So I've got some cottage cheese here. Normally I would use ricotta, but my store was out, so I just decided to go ahead and use cottage cheese. So I'm using about 3/4 of this container here, and then I'm going to add an egg with some mozzarella cheese and some Parmesan cheese. I don't have exact measurements for you. I kind of just eyeballed everything as I normally do. But basically you're just going to mix this up and then set it in the fridge for later. So now that my sausage is cooked through, I'm just going to add that heated marinara sauce to it so that they can simmer together and let those flavors come together while I work on the pasta. So here I have brought up a pot of water to boil with some salt, and then I'm just carefully dropping in the manicotti into this water, and I'm going to cook this for 2 minutes less than what the box says, because remember we're going to be baking this in the oven, so you don't want to overcook it. So now that the noodles are cooked al dente, I'm just going to drain them in this colander here, and I'm going to run some cold water over them so they will stop cooking, because again, we don't want to overcook these pasta noodles. So over here on my kitchen island, I have a towel that I've laid down so that I can lay out all of the noodles so that they can dry out a little bit more and so that they don't stick together in the colander. So I left this part in here as an example of what not to do. don't make the same mistake that I did, but I saw this on TikTok and I wanted to try it. But basically just putting the cheese mixture into a plastic bag, and then you're going to cut a hole in it like you would icing, and then feed the cheese mixture through the manicotti noodles. I tried this and it just kept coming out the other end, and I was getting super frustrated. So I just decided to use a good old-fashioned spoon and spoon it in there, which you'll see in just a second. But I had such a mess with this plastic bag, so I definitely do not recommend trying this. So as you can see with the spoon, it worked a lot better. After I filled up my 9x13 pan, I went ahead and topped the rest of the manicotti with the rest of the pasta sauce. I added some Parmesan cheese as well as some mozzarella cheese, threw it in the oven for about 30 minutes, and here's what everything looked like. We served this with some garlic bread and some air fryer broccoli and cauliflower. All right, this next night is a super easy dinner, so I'm just cutting up some better cheddars. We like these because they are smoked sausage, but they also have cheese in the middle. So I'm just chopping those up as small as I possibly can, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started on our zucchini crisps. So I saw this recipe on Pinterest and I wanted to try it. So I'm just chopping up the zucchini crisps and then setting those to the side while I get ready for my rice. This dinner was super fast paced, so I had to kind of do everything the best that I could, but I'm making rice-a-roni as well. I'm using the 4 cheese blend, and I'm just following the directions on the back of the package. So I've got some butter here. I'm just going to basically fry up the rice until it is golden brown. It has a really pretty color. You'll know when it's done. And then I'm just going to throw some water in and let that cook, and then I'll move back over to the sides. Okay, so we're back to the zucchini crisps now. I've got my air fryer here. I do have a 5.8 quart air fryer if that helps you, but like I said, I just chopped up this zucchini as small as I possibly could, as thin as I could, and you're just gonna wanna put it in a single layer in your air fryer and then sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese, and it makes a really yummy zucchini side. I am not a fan of zucchini, but I really did like this dish. I will have the full recipe linked down below for you. I also wanted to mention that with this recipe, I strongly encourage you to make sure that this is in a single layer, because the second that these overlap, they will not get crispy like they're supposed to. So don't overcrowd your pan. I did have to do a couple batches, but it was well worth doing the 2 batches. All right, so here's what those zucchini crisps look like, and they came out so yummy. And then we served this with the better cheddars mixed in with the cheesy rice, and this was a super easy and yummy dinner. Okay, so this next night my husband wanted to grill out, so he usually takes care of the meat and I take care of the sides. So I'm just working on some barbecue little smokies. I've got some little smokies here that I'm just going to throw in the crock pot with some barbecue sauce and some grape jelly, and you're basically just going to want to heat those through, usually about 4 hours on low, and they are perfect. Here I am just using the pre-made patties from Walmart. These are actually the frozen burgers, and I'm just going to season these up with the Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse Seasoning Blend, and the seasoning blend is all that you need. It is really good. If you can get your hands on it, it's only about $4 at Walmart. Next, I'm going to get started on the pasta salad, so I'm just making up the sauce for it. We're just using the Betty Crocker ranch and bacon pasta salad mix, and this comes together super easily. So I'm just boiling the pasta over there on the stove and then mixing up this mixture for the sauce, and you just let it sit until the pasta is done. You'll mix in the pasta and then throw it in the fridge until it is time to eat. It is super easy, and I highly recommend these pasta salads. Next, I'm going to make one of our favorite sides. This is the jalapeno poppers that I make in the air fryer. So I've just got some cream cheese here with some ranch seasoning and some bacon bits. You just mix those all the way through. And then I am just cutting these jalapenos in half. I'm going to take all the seeds and the membranes out so they're not spicy. And then I'm just going to throw these in my air fryer on 400 for about 12 minutes. I do kind of watch them to make sure that they don't get overcooked, but I'll leave the recipe that I always reference down below, and it is super good. You guys should definitely try it. This time I did it with bacon bits because I really didn't want to wrap all of these in the bacon, but I think I'll just stick with wrapping them in bacon because the bacon bits weren't as crispy as I wanted them to be. So just, you know, taking notes there, telling you my experience. But if you are in a hurry, you can always mix in bacon bits like I did. It was good, but I probably wouldn't do it again. So here's what those poppers look like before they go in the air fryer, and then here's what everything looks like when it came together. We had some burgers with hot dogs, jalapeno poppers, little smokies, and that pasta salad. This dinner was such a good night. So this last dinner was the end of the week, and I just needed something super easy and quick, so I'm making pizza roll-ups. So I've got some crescent rolls here, some pepperoni, and some mozzarella cheese. You're basically just going to lay these out, flatten them out just a little bit, not too much, and then layer some pepperoni on there. I found that 6 slices was perfect, and of course my kids are talking to me and bugging me while I'm trying to make dinner, but they just want to spend time with me after not seeing me all day, so I can't complain too much. But you're basically just going to lay out the pepperoni, sprinkle some mozzarella cheese on, and then bake it in the oven for just a minute or two past what the package says. I think I did mine for 13 minutes, and there's my daughter eating raw crescent roll dough. And of course stealing all the cheese. They help me cook all the time, so don't mind that. But anyway, this was a really easy dinner, and my kids loved it, and we just served it with some corn and some pizza sauce that I had laying around in the fridge. And you can do this with pretty much any pizza topping. You could even do it with ham. I've done it with ham before, and it was really good. So here's what my plate looks like. It was really good. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.